and thank you for joining me. In today's video, I want to pour the little frog mold. Now this is the Let's Resin frog mold that came in the set with the frog and the lizard. Now I poured the lizard in the video pouring the resin lizard mold, and I will put a link to that video in the description box as well as my pinned comments below. I will also put a link to some of the products I use in my description box. But the frog mold itself is 1.65 inches by 3.86 inches by 4.7 inches. And I used water to measure. And according to those measurements, it takes 90 milliliters. That being said, I found that sometimes my water measurements are a little bit off. So today I'll actually be mixing 100 milliliters or 3 ounces of resin. But before I do that, I have these little eyes that I made using resin, and I want to put those in like I did with the lizard. So let me go ahead and get my gloves on. And if you haven't watched the video pouring the resin lizard mold, you know that I learned a lesson with these eyes. That being, don't use your fingers. So I've got my little tool out here, and I don't know if you can see down in here or not where the little eye will go. So I'm going to see if I can't get a little bit of UV in there and position that eye where it needs to go. And I want to make sure I put it where it needs to go. It's really hard to see down in there. Let me see if I can get a little drop of the UV in there. I'm just going to drop that eye in there and see if I can't position it with my tool. Okay. It looks like it's in place. So let me go ahead and see about getting that cured up, and then I'll give you a peek, see down in there. Or at least on the side. I don't know if you'll be able to see all the way down in here or not. And just like the lizard, I noticed that these little frog legs are little. They look very delicate. All right, let me see if that's cured on this side, and if so, I'm going to go ahead and try and cure it a little bit on the other side. Yeah. So I don't know if you can see down in there. We'll see how these eyes end up. Let me go ahead and see if I can't cure it from this side. That seems to be one of the steps I always forget with UV, or most of the time I forget. You need to cure UV resin from both sides. And once I put these eyes in, I will show you the micas that I've chosen to pour this little guy. All right, let me go ahead and see. I hope that eye's in there great. It looks kind of scary, actually. All right, let's see if we can get this other eye in. Put a little bit of UV in there. And see if we can get this eye positioned. Okay, I think it's positioned. You may have like little googly eyes. And I know with the lizard, you know, I used a somewhat of a translucent or transparent pour. For this one, I actually want to use mica and make it opaque. I'm just curious to see how this little guy turns out. Let me see if that's cured. Sounds like it. So let me get it from this side. He's going to have a big set of eyes, y'all. Or they at least look big, but they fit into the little spots. I guess we'll see when we're all done. I'm going to hold it up here for a little bit longer. Then I think I'm going to put it inside for just another little bit, just to make sure that it's good and cured in there, because I don't want them swimming around when I go to pour the resin. All right, let me set that down, and right now that's what it looks like. Two little eyes in the frog. Let me put a lid on this, and I'll show you what I am planning on doing. This little frog has little ripples. I don't know if you can see that on camera. And I don't know if this is going to work, but I think I'm going to try to brush on a little bit of black mica. Just a little bit. I don't want it coated completely in black, but just a little bit of black mica to add some more color. And then this is green mica. I mean, these are some of the gifts that I received at Christmas time, and it doesn't tell you what color they are. I'm going to call that one green and that one black. So let me go ahead and see if I can get just a little bit of this brushed on. I don't want a bunch, because I actually want, and this may not work. We'll find out. I just want to brush a little bit on and hopefully add a little depth to the frog. And it may just end up being a hot mess. Who knows? Let me brush a little bit right there where there's like a little crease, like little creases by the legs. Just want to brush a little bit on there. Now I'm going to take a peek in here and see what I think. And there's not a whole bunch. I'm not putting a bunch in here. Let me give it a tap. And yeah, I just brushed just barely any on there. So we'll see what we end up with there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mix the resin, and then I'll be back to do a pour. I'll see you in just a minute. I have the resin mixed, and I mean, this is a really pretty green. I don't know how well you can see it in there. It's almost like a dark lime green. And I am going to pour it just slowly, because I don't know what to expect with this mold. I've never used it before. I'm going to just put a little bit in here, and then I will give it some thumps. Just get a little bit in there at a time, because I don't know what to expect. And I hope by putting that black mica in there that I don't muddy this thing up, but I guess we'll see. Put a little bit more. Something I do like about this mold is the fact that it's good and sturdy, and it's easy to pick up and thump it around. I probably should be pouring that down my stick. Ooh, stop there. I hope I measured this correctly. And yeah, I may want to thump it a little bit there after I get it fuller. Slow down. And yeah, just because I don't want to pinch the eyes out of place, but I don't know. if it might decide to put a bubble in there. I don't want a bubble down in there. All right, let's see if we can kind of, I hope I mixed enough. Maybe I mismeasured it. I never ever know. I don't know why I struggle so much with that. Let me slow down a little bit and allow it to move into those little toes. Y'all, I may have to mix just a teeny tiny bit more. I don't know. Ideally, it should start moving down in there. I still have a little bit left. Let me use my tool to kind of help this move before I pour the rest of it. This is a really pretty green. We'll see what it looks like when it cures, but right now it is gorgeous. Kind of reminds me of spring, which is right around the corner. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, let's see here. All right, let me go ahead and carefully just put a little bit by those toes so that it'll finish moving in there. And then I'm going to try to give it another thump. Same with up here, just carefully. I don't want to over pour. Ooh, I just got a little bit on my mold there. I'll get it off in a minute. Put a little bit more by these toes. And then I'm going to see if it's about to the doming stage, especially by the little toes. Toes, fingers, I'm not too sure what they're called on frogs. Let me get that off of there. Maybe if I'm very, 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 very careful, just put a little drop right by the fingers. Fingers, toes. I guess they're toes. They're called frog legs, right? So I guess they're toes. A little bit right here, and then I think I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. I don't want it to overflow because it would be really hard to trim around that stuff. All right, let me move this and this. Try to give it some thumps without making a mess. This is going to be a short video, y'all. I hope that black doesn't muddy everything up. I guess we'll see, right? All right, well, I'm going to bubble set it and then see you in 24 hours for the unmolding. So I will see you then. It's time for the unmolding. And because I've never used this mold before, I'm going to be very careful. And I imagine I will do the head part last. So let's see if we can carefully get by these little frog legs and toes. Slowly pull it off here. I don't want to break any of those little toes. Let me see if I can get that loose right there. There we go. There we go. And again, I'm hoping for no bubbles in here where I couldn't see. And I'm hoping that the black doesn't just muddy it all up. Okay, let me try and loosen it without hurting the toes. See if I can get my fingers down in there. Oh wow, that's just really stuck in there. Let me loosen up here and see if that helps. Don't want to break. I don't want to break those little toes. All right, I've got that. Now let me see if I can get it down in here. Right through there. Oh my, that's stuck in there. Let me try and give it a tug without breaking it. Yeah, you guys, I'm having a bit of a struggle with this one. It is really stuck in there. And I don't want to break it. And I don't want to tear the mold either. I'm not a fan of using the alcohol because I know it dries the molds out, but I may go ahead and do that right here simply because I need for that to loosen up a little bit. Yeah, you guys, that's stuck. Oh, I don't want to tear the mold. And I don't want to break the frog. I did not expect to struggle. Oh, there we go. That one came out. Now we need this other one to loosen up and come out. There we go. All right, now to try to get the head out carefully without breaking the little... Oh, he hopped right out of there, didn't he? Oh, y'all, look. I like the way that black turned out. I didn't know if it would or not. Now, it does look like I need to do a little trimming. Just a little bit with an X-Acto knife. But overall, I think he turned out pretty good. Let me know what you think. But there's the little frog. Let me wipe up some of this alcohol. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to thank you for watching and ask you to consider hitting the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time.